In this video, we'll be looking at how to find the lateral area and the surface area of prisms. So what we're looking at right now is a hexagonal prism on the left side, and on the right side, if I took this hexagonal prism and I tore it, or I opened it at the seam and just spread all the sides out. So, we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. We can't see them all here, but if we opened everything up, this is what it would look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. That would be our front right here, or our back actually, and that right here would be our front. So that's called the net of a hexagonal prism, or the net of a prism. And it's important in order to help us truly understand what surface area and lateral area are. Okay, so if we were asked to find the lateral area for this hexagonal prism, what they're asking us to find, I'll shade it in red, what they're asking us to find is the area of that face, that face, that face, and the 3 faces we can't see that are hidden in the back. Otherwise saying, the lateral area is actually those faces, and it's so much easier to see it if it's opened as a net. Alright, so lateral area is what I've shaded in red. So if I ask you to find the surface area, then I'm just asking you to find the area of all the surfaces combined, including the front and the back. So let's first focus on just this part, just the lateral area. Alright, so let's say our side length of our hexagon was S for short. That's for side length. Alright, which means that in all, we'd have for hexagon 6 S's going over that way, going over that way. There we go. Let's say that we had, and so I'm making this general, I'm not doing an example quite yet. Let's say that we have the height of our hexagonal prism as, let's call it H. That means the height of our net right there will also be H. So, in order to find the lateral area, we would, of course, since it's a rectangle, we'd have to multiply base times height. And in this case, the base just so happens to be 6S, but 6S, just so happens to be the perimeter of our prism, or hexagon. So here is the perimeter of our hexagon. So we have perimeter times height. So the lateral area of any, so I just made it general, so you can find the lateral area for any hexagonal or any prism at all. So the lateral area will always be the perimeter, and specifically the perimeter of the polygon, the hexagon, the rectangle, the whatever that polygon is. So the perimeter, I'll write that down because that's super important, of the polygon times the height of the figure. Or of the prism. Alright, so that's how you find the lateral area. In order to figure out the surface area in general, we have to then add the area of the, let's do a different color, we have to then add the area of the faces, or the polygons. So, and there's of course one in the back, so we need to add these areas on as well. And that will give us our surface areas. So surface area is equal to lateral area, which we just discussed, plus 2, because there is one at the top and one at the bottom, so 2 times base area. So this can get pretty challenging depending on the information given and the type of shape that you have in your base. So for example, if you have a hexagonal prism, it's going to be much more difficult to find that base area than if you have a triangular prism. Or if you're not given the apothem, that's going to be pretty hard too. And we'll stay away from that conversation because that's a whole other topic that's infused in this one. Let's just do a triangular prism as an example, and that's it. Okay, so here we have a triangular prism, and we want the lateral area and the surface area. All right, so the lateral area we know will be, let's call it, I'll just write the word. Lateral area will be equal to the perimeter times the height, so we know that now. When we're referring to the perimeter, we're referring to the perimeter of the base shape, and that base shape here is a triangle. All right, so our triangle has a 3 and a 4 as its legs, and we need the hypotenuse in order to figure out the perimeter. And fortunately for us, it is a 3, 4, 5 triangle because the legs are 3 and 4. So we have 3, 4, and 5. So our perimeter then would be equal to 3 plus 4 plus 5. And the height of our triangular prism is 10, so we can then multiply the 10. And we get here that our lateral area is 120 squared units. Let's throw some units on this figure. All right, so in this case, it would be centimeters squared. All right, so that's our lateral area, but we are not done because our surface area, in our surface area, we do have to add those 2 triangles at the bottom and at the top. All right, so surface area is equal to lateral area. So I'll write that down. We already found it, but that's okay. Plus 2 times the base area. All right, so we know that our lateral area already, we know it's 120, and we know that the area of a triangle is half base times height. So the area of this particular triangle is 1/2, base is 4, and the height is 3. So once we work that out, we get 12 plus 120. So our surface area is 132 centimeters squared. So just slightly more because we're adding those triangles on. And that's how you find the surface area of a prism.